Supergrass murder trial witness was held by police to sell his story to the media before the case even got to court, the appeal court has heard. Michael Steele, 64, and Jack Holmes, 45, are serving life for the 1995 murders of three gangsters in Rettendon, Essex. Their lawyers argue the book, TV, and film deal struck by the key witness Darren Nichols made his evidence unreliable. Prosecutors deny claims of a police cover-up and say that he will seek a retrial if the convictions are quashed. Witness scandals. Steele, of Great Bentley, Essex, and Holmes, of Brockford, Suffolk, were convicted at the Old Bailey in 1998 of killing Patrick Tate, Anthony Tucker, and Craig Rolfe. Their bodies were found in a Range Rover in the lane in December 1995. Baroness Kennedy QC, representing Steele, told the appeal court on Wednesday that new disclosures about police involvement in Mr Nichols' media deal threw a very different light on police conduct in the trial and their alleged collusion in framing these two men. She said Nichols, a criminal who was himself under arrest when he turned Queen's evidence, had stood to gain financially from the conviction of the accused men. We say that the police, unable to supply finance to the witness themselves, facilitated his link with the media. Baroness Kennedy QC. At the time, she said a series of scandals had led to the new rules forcing police to cut back at the amount of money they could spend on supergrasses and informants. This was to remove the incentive for them to give false evidence. She told the court, "It was in the absence of sufficient financial incentive that Nichols, with the knowledge of the police, settled on the idea of selling his story. He wanted to set in stone before he committed himself to his role as a protected witness." She said, "We say the police, unable to supply finance to the witness themselves, facilitated this link with the media. In contemporary parlance, it was outsourcing of the private finance initiative." Dishonest relationship. Lady Kennedy said Nichols went on to give a false story to obtain a greatly reduced sentence for the crime he was himself accused of. The media deal, which in the end did not make him as much money as he had hoped, was intended to make up for the money he knew he would lose by curtailing his criminal activities, she said. The court heard a copyright contract began in August 1996, months before committal proceedings, and a publishing deal was signed in September. Lady Kennedy said Nichols had earlier been involved in a thoroughly dishonest relationship with an Essex police officer. Later, literally agent Caroline Lawley gave evidence about a £20,000 book deal in 1996 to be shared between Nichols and Mr Thompson. At the open trial, prosecutors argued the men had been killed in a gangland dispute over drugs. Steele and Holmes were also convicted, along with Peter Corey of Clacton, Essex, of conspiracy to import cannabis. Corey, who was jailed for 4.5 years, is also contesting his conviction. The story of the murders became known as the Essex Boys case after it inspired a film starring Sean Bean. The hearing was adjourned until Thursday.